I'm Andrea Mitchell of NBC News and MSNBC, here for genConnect, and I'm going to be talking to Maria Bartiromo of CNBC. Can women have it all? She thinks they can soar. I'm Andrea Mitchell of NBC News and MSNBC at the Aspen Ideas Festival for genConnect. And I'm here with Maria Bartiromo of CNBC, the host, of course, of Closing Bell. Maria, you are a path breaker. You are a role model to so many people, men and women. But people probably don't realize how tough it was for you when you first went out on the stock exchange floor. You were the first person who ever tried to do what you do. How intimidating was it, and how did you make it work?
You know, it was intimidating initially. When I first got down there, it had not been done. So bringing a camera down to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange in a sea of suits was a little intimidating. But I remember thinking to myself, as long as I know my stuff, they can't push me around. And so I studied. And I always tell women who are emerging, coming up in their professions, to say, make sure you own your craft. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's reporting, if it's the stock market, whatever it is, own it. Know it better than anybody, and then no one will have anything on you. I remember years ago when I first started on the floor, I'll tell you a quick story. I had learned that our boss's boss was coming down to the stock exchange, Jack Welch. And I thought, what a coup. I'm the reporter at the New York Stock Exchange, and I'm going to be able to take Jack Welch to the post of GE, introduce him to the specialist, the guy bringing the buyers and sellers together, and this will be my job. Great. So I walked over to the post to talk to George, who was the specialist, and I wanted to say, George, can I bring Jack Welch over here tomorrow? When I approached the post, someone 3 times my age said, run along, we don't care about your little TV show, you're not going to be here, we're doing real business here. And you know what you feel like when you're just stomped in your tracks. So I said, I stopped, I had knots in my stomach, I looked at him, I said, don't talk to me that way, and then I basically ran along. But I came back, and I kept coming back, and I think that's the key. You need to make sure that you own your craft, you study, so that people don't have anything on you, work hard, there are no shortcuts. These are the lessons that I always give women coming up in the world. But, you know, I mean, doing something different, doing something that hadn't been done before is you know, it's scary. And I was afraid. It's nothing bad to be afraid. You just have to ensure that you know that with practice, with preparation, comes confidence.
And there's a big debate going on right now. Anne Marie Slaughter, back at Princeton, formerly a top State Department official, wrote an article for The Atlantic, and it's setting off fires because she wrote that women can't have it all. And she was really objecting in part to Sheryl Sandberg's speech from Facebook about what women have to do, work harder, give up things, make sacrifices. What is your takeaway from that as someone who broke down a lot of barriers?
Well, you know, I mean, I would like to believe that women can do it all, actually. Now, I do not have children. So who am I to say that I can do it all when I actually haven't had children?
So here, both of us who have not had children.
Exactly.
We've made other sacrifices, but
you know
we
what?
have a much easier time not having that responsibility.
Exactly. And so, you know, I do believe that a woman can have it all. My sister is a nurse and a very successful nurse at it, and she has 3 children. But then again, we don't have kids, so it's hard for me to comment on that. But I think from my standpoint, I don't look at it as I've made sacrifices. I've made choices. I've made choices to do what I love. And I love business information. And I love covering the stock market. I love looking at the global economy. So I've made a choice. And these are the choices that I've made. Are they the choices for everyone? No. But I believe that right now I'm happy. I have been happy. I hope I don't have regrets for not having children at some point. I'll be honest in telling you that I have no idea at some point if I will. But at this moment in time, I feel good about the choices that I made. And so I think women should have the opportunity to soar. I mean, let's not forget, women are soaring around the world. Look at medical school, law school, graduate school. The majority of the students are women. There's still the elephant in the room that we make less than men on average. But at the end of the day, women are very productive. They like to have a lot of balls in the air. Look at you. You have an incredibly successful career. You have had for so many years. You have a beautiful family life with your husband. And yet, these are the choices that you made. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've given up something. I certainly don't feel like I have given up anything.
And finally, as the breeze takes us away, what about women in business? What about women CEOs? glass ceiling?
Well, it's tough. I mean, I would like to believe that women have all the opportunities that men, but when you look at the numbers, it's really not there. You don't have the number of female CEOs, female executives in the corner office. I hope that's changing. I think that's for a number of reasons, though, and part of it is because women want to have a lot of balls in the air. And so women will be in a job, excel in their job, and then they'll leave to have children. When they come back, like any other business, people get ahead of you if you're not there. And sometimes men get ahead, and so you have to start, and sort of the bureaucracy of it, you start at a lower level. So maybe that's part of it. But again, I believe it's choices. I think men, and this is a generalization, I will say this, but men like to do one thing, they focus on one thing. Women like to do it all. I certainly do. And I'm comfortable with it. So I think women should continue to try to soar. I think we are breaking some ceilings. It will happen. It's certainly not at the levels that it should be on Wall Street.
Journalist, author, anchor, reporter, friend, Maria Bartiromo, thank you
Thanks,
so very
Andrea.
much. And I'm Andrea Mitchell from NBC News.